It's April, and I want to ask you something that might be a little uncomfortable. What happened to the plan? Not last year's plan, but this year's plan. The one you made in January. The one that felt different this time. The one you were genuinely serious about. Because statistically, I do not need statistics for this, I just have to be alive. Most plans made in January are dead by February. Some make it to March, a rare few limp into April looking like nothing what they started as. And the reason everyone gives is the same. I got busy, I lost motivation, life got in the way. But that is not the real reason. The real reason is something more specific, something that was built into the plan from the very beginning. And once you see it, you will understand why the same plan keeps dying the same way every single time you try it. I know this because I lived it. Same plan, same failures, same excuses for years until I finally understood what I was actually doing wrong. And it was not what I thought. Let me tell you exactly how it went. January 1st, new year, new plan, of course. This time, you mean it. You actually start, and that part feels good. That part feels like proof that this time is different. First week, you show up. Second week, you show up. Third week, something happens. A cold evening, hard day at work, your body is tired, and to tell yourself something completely reasonable. I have been going hard and I need 1 day to recover. That is not quitting. That is being smart about it. And it is true, it's reasonable. One rest day is not failure. But then the second day comes and the couch is over there and the dinner is hot, the shower is warm, and getting into bed early feels like exactly what a tired person deserves. And you get it. I'm going to use the exact words that happened to me. You get sucked into your comfort zone. Not pushed, sucked, like it had gravity. And on day 3, no soreness, no tiredness, no weather excuse left. You feel fine. You could go, but you don't go. Because comfort won on day 2 and now it has momentum. And then the voice starts. I already missed 3 days. What is the point? I will catch up, I will catch up, I will catch up. And then it's February. And the plan is not dead. You have not officially quit, but it's on life support. You go once, you skip a week. You go twice, you skip 2 weeks. And somewhere in there, you stop calling it a plan and start calling it something you are going to get back to. I know this because this was me. January 1st, gym every single day, no plan, no goal, just the idea of being someone who goes to the gym every single day. And that idea felt enough, but it wasn't enough. There is a concept in psychology called all or nothing thinking. It is exactly what it sounds like. Either you're doing it perfectly or you have failed. Either you go every day or you have broken the strike, and the strike is the whole point. Researchers who study habit formation, particularly James Clear, whose work on systems and identity has been widely studied, consistently find that the biggest killer of new habits is not laziness and not lack of motivation. It is rigidity. The plan that has no room for a bad day is a plan that one bad day can destroy entirely the plan. But here is what I think is even more important than the psychology. Here is the mechanism underneath the mechanism. Most plans die not because they were too hard. They die because they were never attached to any real thing. I went to the gym every day because I like the idea of being someone who goes to the gym every day. Not because I had a goal, not because I wanted to lose specific amount of weight or build specific amount of strength or be healthy enough to do something specific with my life. Just the idea, hiding behind the idea of going to the gym. And the idea is not a reason actually. An idea cannot carry you through a cold January evening when the couch has gravity and the bed is warm and the dinner is hot. An idea evaporates the moment conditions get slightly difficult. A real goal, something specific, something that means something to your personality, that has a chance of surviving the third day. The plan did not fail because you were weak. The plan failed because it was built on the wrong foundation from the very first day. I want to tell you about a contradiction. Everything I have just told you is about sustainable small steps. 3 times a week, not every day. Small goals, not massive transformations. Reasonable, not extreme. And then I started CrossFit. If you do not know what CrossFit is, it's devastating. I cannot always finish the workout. I leave the gym having given everything I had, and sometimes it is still not enough to complete what was on the board. It is the hardest physical thing I have done ever. And you might say that contradicts everything you just said. It does not, and here's why. When I started CrossFit, I did not know how hard it's going to be. But when I got there, I saw other people who are not superhuman, people like me, finishing workouts that I could barely start. Something happened. If they can do it, I can do it. Not today, but eventually, step by step. So I built a structure around the hard thing. 1 day on, 1 day rest. 1 day on, 1 day rest. Now I go 2 days, 1 day rest. And in a month I will go 5 times a week. That thing is hard. The approach is sustainable. Both things are true at the same time. And here is the real reframe. I'm uncomfortable at CrossFit. I'm uncomfortable making these videos also. I'm uncomfortable speaking in English in front of a camera to an audience I'm still building. Those are 4 real discomforts, 4, chosen deliberately, because I've learned something about myself. When I'm uncomfortable, I'm in my progressive comfort zone, the zone where I'm adding value, the zone where I'm actually moving. The goal is not to find something easy. The goal is to find something meaningful and build a sustainable structure around it. So the discomfort does not kill it before it becomes a habit. That is the difference between the January plan that died and the thing you are still doing in April. 3 things. Specific. No theory without application. The first one, attach the plan to a real goal, not an idea. Before you start anything, the gym, the YouTube channel, the business, anything, ask yourself one question. How does this matter to me specifically? Not the general answer, the real answer to yourself. Not I want to be healthier or why? Why do you want to be healthier? What does healthier allow you to do that you cannot do right now? Who benefits when you are healthier? You, your family, who? What problem does it solve that actually matters to your actual life? The more specific and personal the answer, the more likely it survives a cold evening in January. Trust me on that. An idea evaporates. A real reason does not. The second one is build the plan to survive a bad day. The all or nothing plan is a plan with no shock absorbers. One bad day and the whole thing collapses. Before you start, decide in advance what the minimum version looks like, not the ideal version. The floor. The thing you will do on the worst day on the month when everything is against you and the couch has maximum gravity. For me right now, that floor is movement. If I cannot train, I walk. Do you know how many kilometers I have done circling around my couch for 30 minutes? Almost 3 kilometers around the couch. Yeah, that's funny, but it's true. It sounds ridiculous also, but I've done it because the habit of showing up, even in the smallest possible form, is worth more than the perfect session you skipped because conditions were not ideal. Keep feeding the habit, even when what you are feeding it is with 3 kilometers around your couch. And the third one, make tomorrow your January 1st. It is April now. The plan is dead, and I know what you're thinking. I will restart in January next year. Do not wait for January. Make tomorrow your January 1st. Tonight, today, right after this video. Do not restart the whole plan. Do one thing, one specific thing. Write it down and do it tomorrow. And the day after, and the day after, and the day after. Just do one simple thing. There is an image I keep coming back to. When there is a thick fog, you cannot see the road. The best thing you can do is not to take a big step because you don't know where you're going. But you can look down and see your feet first. And if you take a small step, you can still see the road that's beneath you. One small step, then another, then another. You will not stay in one place. You will move. You will acquire the skill of walking even without visibility. That is how the plan survives. Not by being perfect, by being small enough to keep going when everything else is falling apart. I want to be honest with you about what I just told you. Small steps are not exciting. There is nothing to post about circling around your couch for 30 minutes. Nobody is impressed by 3 times a week when someone else is going every day. The sustainable version of anything looks boring from the outside. It looks very boring. And the people who quit, the ones whose plan die every February, they're not weaker than you. They were taught the same thing you were taught, that failure is something to be ashamed of, that you bury it, and restart with something bigger to prove you are serious. The restart is always bigger than the original plan because shame needs to be covered with something impressive. But impressive plans built on shame collapse the same way the first one did, just even louder. The cost of doing this honestly, small steps, real goals, sustainable structure, is that it looks unimpressive for a long time. You will not have a dramatic transformation story in 1 month. You will have a habit. A habit are invisible until suddenly they are not. I want to tell you something I said earlier in this video, and I want you to hear it differently this time. I was taking very big steps without being able to walk. I stumbled and I decided to stay on the ground. And I blamed the big steps, not myself, the person who chose them. This was me for years. The version of me that is doing CrossFit 3 times a week, making videos, speaking in English on camera, building towards 15K a month from under 3K, that person did not appear because conditions improved. That person appeared because I stopped blaming the steps and I started looking at my feet. You're not someone who plans keep failing. You are someone who has been building plans the wrong way. This is a skill. This is a skill problem, not a character problem. I repeat, this is a skill, achievable skill, not a character problem. and skills can be fixed. The fog is still there. It is always there. Nobody gets perfect visibility before they have to move. But your feet are right there. And the road is right beneath them. One step. I want you to do only one thing after this video. Write down the one thing you said you were going to do in January that you have not done. One thing. One sentence. And then write down the smallest possible version of that thing. The floor. I call it the floor. The version of you could do on your worst day. And do the version tomorrow or even tonight if you're watching this at night. Not the full plan, not the January 1st energy, just the smallest step, just enough to see your feet. Because January 1st is tomorrow, if you decide it is. And the plan does not have to be perfect. It just has to start. If this landed, subscribe. I'm documenting it all. The real numbers, the failures, the gap between 3K and 15K a month, no performance, no shortcuts, just boring work done consistently like this video. See you in the next one.